Tonight on CTV News, we hear from students who have been impacted by the blackface photo.
Then we have an update to the McNay fire northwest of Fort Collins.
And scooters that are coming to campus. All this and more from the people you know.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Jake Oskvaric.
And I'm Delaney Allen. We head over to Janae and Edgar for more on the blackface issue.
Thank you, Jake and Delaney. Over the last week, an image of 4 CSU students in blackface has been circulating around social media.
Yesterday, in an interview with student media, the student who posted and appeared in the photo spoke. We feel that it is necessary that CSU students who are affected by the photo are heard. If a picture speaks 1,000 words, then this image will tell a story that has rocked the Colorado State University campus. 18-year-old Leanna Kaplan and 3 other male friends put on a black face mask while posing in reference to the Black Panther movie and captioning the image "Wakanda Forever." They then posted the picture on Instagram, but she says she never realized her actions would be perceived as offensive.
Intent or not, presenting yourself in blackface has always been considered highly offensive and has always had negative connotations.
That's right, Janae. Many students have expressed their emotions on campus and across social media, saying they have felt disappointment, anger, and fear.
That's right, and students are looking for a direct change from the university.
And many hope that this is an end to the endless cycle of protecting hate and bias on campus. CSU administration sent out 2 emails, the first one stating that it couldn't discipline the students because of their First Amendment rights. And in the second email, the university stated that it would hold a series of meetings to address the issue and hear from students. The image and Kaplan's explanation hasn't sat well with many CSU students, like Erica Bishop.
Of course, people aren't taking it seriously. Of course, this is happening at CSU. So it wasn't surprising in the least, but I think it was surprising that it took a fat minute for us to get an email. It took a minute for her to say something after the fact that, oh, there won't be any consequences, when everyone's been calling out for some consequences, and I don't know. I'm just not surprised at all.
Yeah, I heard about it from a friend, and honestly, I was not surprised. I didn't really have like this, oh my gosh, why did we have such an event like this again? Because it's kind of been something it's been reoccurring over the last 3 years that I've been here. So honestly, it was just another thing that I saw in the media.
Yeah, I thought it was really offensive and that it was not okay to do something like that. Like that affected me a lot, and like that's not okay, and like I can't imagine like how others are feeling right now too. Like I feel like something needs to change, or like something needs to be done.
And it makes me sad because I don't want to be numb to it, and it's not a numbness where I'm just like, oh, things like this are going to happen, so I'm fine. It's a numbness where I'm like, why aren't we doing anything? Why do I keep seeing things like this? People from the community are obviously not happy with this, so what are we going to actually do to change it, kind of feeling. So
I thought about leaving, but then I thought that's what they want me to do. There's a certain theme of a student that goes to CSU, and I'm not that sort of student, so they kind of weed people out like that, unintentionally or intentionally, who knows, but it's kind of on purpose, I think.
What everyone can agree on is that CSU and the community must learn from this incident, that an image will not define who this campus is. There are hopes for a stronger and better CSU. I'm Edgar Cedillo, reporting for CTV Channel 11.
Many students who didn't feel comfortable speaking in front of the camera assured us that they were confused, that Kaplan did not seem remorseful in the interview and with some of her responses, one being the term colored, which she said last night. This term has always been associated with racism. Colored fountain, colored restroom, and colored section. So it's important for students to speak up. We want to hear the voices of those who have been impacted by this issue.
Throughout the week, we will be covering those events that are taking place, including Senate tomorrow at ASCSU, as well as the President's Fall Address on Thursday. So we want to give the students a platform to voice their opinion and give them a voice.
Exactly. Edgar is completely correct. So if you all see us at this event, we are student media, we are CTV. We want to share your voices. We want to share the students' voices. That is important to us, and we hope that is important to you. So if you see us at these events, please come up to us, and we are more than willing to give you the opportunity on this platform.
That's right, and if you can't make it out to us in person, we would definitely want to hear from you over social media. So follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. We would love to hear from you on those platforms as well.
Jake and Delaney, back to you.
The McNay fire, which continues to burn 35 miles northwest of Fort Collins, did not grow overnight. According to a press release from the Larimer County Sheriff's Office, the fire has burned over 540 acres and is 77% contained. So far, there have been no injuries or damages to structures. The fire has been burning since Sunday when a truck caught on fire. The Sheriff's Office says to expect to see smoke throughout the day. For more updates on the fire, you can follow Larimer Sheriff on Twitter.
Fort Collins police arrested a man on burglary and sexual assault charges. The suspect, who was identified as 22-year-old Tanner Cook. The arrest comes after a woman reported a male in her home on the 600 block of Balsam Lane on the morning of September 7th. Anyone with information about this incident or the suspect is asked to call Crime Stoppers of Larimer County at 970-221-6868.
A Wellington man was arrested on Saturday, September 14th, after Larimer County Sheriff's officers received reports of a man punching vehicles in a home on the 2300 block of County Road 38 East. The suspect was identified as 27-year-old Brandon Oler of Wellington. According to the press release, the Larimer County Regional SWAT team responded to the home at around 6:17 in the evening. The Sheriff's Office says that Oler was not responding to commands from the outside, and it wasn't until approximately 8:32 that evening that the SWAT team entered the home where Oler was barricaded. Oler was then taken to the Medical Center of the Rockies to be treated for a canine bite. He has been since taken to the Larimer County Jail where he is held on charges of first-degree burglary, criminal mischief, resisting arrest, and failure to leave the premise upon demand.
Bicycling is a big part of Fort Collins in culture, and it's no different on CSU's campus. Here's how to make sure you're staying safe.
Bicycling is a very popular mode of transportation here in Fort Collins. This bike culture is arguably most prevalent here on CSU's campus. Not everyone bikes though, as can be seen in our crowded parking lots. There is a balance required to keep everyone safe as they make their way around school. But how safe is bicycling on such a busy campus?
CSU has really great infrastructure in place for bike safety.
Although we have bike lanes and other preventative measures to keep our cyclists safe, we do still have the occasional accident.
I think it's lack of knowledge about how students should properly be using this infrastructure, like where they should be walking versus biking.
There are signs posted all over campus to alert students as to where it's okay to bike and where you have to walk.
I typically avoid riding my bike where cars typically are, but when I do, they normally let me have the right of way, which is awesome.
In order to keep all students safe, a sense of awareness is vital for both drivers and cyclists.
I honestly wish more people would bike. I think it's the best way to get to campus, even in inclement weather. I think it's just fantastic. And CSU has bike lanes like no other campus I've ever seen, so why not use them?
Bicycling is a good way to save money on parking on campus, and there's plenty of room for bikes, so that could be an excellent choice for campus transportation.
For students who are looking for efficient transportation around campus, but don't have access to a bike or a longboard, there is another option. Electric scooters are soon making their way to CSU. Electric scooters are a good alternative for students who don't want to walk around campus, but also don't want the hassle or the extra expenses of owning a bike or skateboard. Thank you for joining us tonight on CTV. Coming up is Ren Wadsworth with the weather.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Welcome back, Rams. I'm Ren Wadsworth, and this is your Tuesday night weather report. So kicking it off with current conditions, it's currently 75 degrees today. It had a little bit of cloud coverage and a little bit of a breeze, but if we look into earlier today, there was a beautiful cloud coverage and a light breeze. It caused students to come out of the LSC and study outside for a little bit. Beautiful, beautiful day. Taking a look at tonight's lows, going down the I-25 corridor, it's going to be in the low 50s all the way down until Pueblo. On the plain side of the state, it's going to also be in the low 50s and high 40s. Going over to the mountainside, it's going to be a little bit colder, and it's even going to reach 32 degrees in Craig. If we take a look at tomorrow's weather, it's going to be a high of 83, and that sun is going to be out. So even though the weather is going to go down a little bit, the sun is going to make it feel a lot hotter than it is. If we take a look at tomorrow's high all across the state, all the way down the I-25 corridor, it's going to be in the low 80s, but then Pueblo is going to hit that high 90 mark. It's going to be high also in the plains, and in the mountains, it's going to hit a little bit lower in the low 80s, high 70s. If you're wondering if that weather is going to change, we'll take a look at that 5-day weather forecast. It's going to go all the way down until Saturday, keeping it down, and then it's going to go right back up to 76 on Sunday. That sun's going to come back up on Sunday, so if you were hoping for a colder weekend, it's going to get a little bit colder, but not a lot. That's all I have for you today, Rams, but stay tuned because Ethan and Sydney are going to keep you updated on that quarterback, Collin Hill.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back from the break, Rams, into another week of the Red Zone. I'm Ethan Bird.
And I'm Sydney Wicker. Ethan, we have some unfortunate news from the CSU football team. This week it was just announced quarterback Collin Hill will be out for the remainder of the season due to a torn ACL from this play from last weekend's game versus Arkansas. Now after the game, head coach Mike Bobo shared his emotion on Hill's injury.
Our kid's special, special. Got his knee hurt and he comes back out there. He's got a headset on. He's encouraging. I mean, he's a special kid, and he's made up of the right stuff.
Ethan, it was really tough to see Mike Bobo get through that. You can see he almost tears up a little bit in that press conference, but this is Collin Hill's third torn ACL in his left knee. Kind of a tough pill to swallow.
I mean, who wouldn't tear up after that? Collin, he's a warrior, and it's been such a pleasure, I think, for all of us who have been able to watch him throw the ball for CSU last year and into this year, and it's just heartbreaking. The kid, he's already fought back from one torn ACL, and then he gets another. I mean, Mike Bobo said earlier today in a presser that right after that hit, Collin knew. Collin knew that he tore it, but the special thing about Collin is he was back there. Like Bobo said, he was right back out there on the field with the headset on. He was taking care of his teammates, so it's just a tough thing to happen to such a special guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we heard from Coach Bobo today who spoke on this issue, and he said that he was in high spirits again at practice, out there trying to really motivate his players and his teammates. But, always sad news. He spent a lot of the offseason. He went to a Peyton Manning training camp where he was working with them and other great quarterbacks. So it's tough to see a guy who put this much effort and this much energy into the sport that he loves so much be in this injury spot again.
Oh, yeah, and now there's uncertainty at the quarterback position for CSU. I mean, you have Patrick O'Brien. I like to call him Patio. Big Patio. Kid's a unit. He's huge. So I'm kind of excited to see him play. I mean, it's not the best circumstances. I mean, but the guy was set to be the starter at Nebraska before he transferred over here. So he's got the skills, and if he has enough time to practice with the ones this whole week, things might not be too bad.
Absolutely. I mean, they are playing Toledo,
Yeah.
so not their toughest competition on the schedule this year, but we'll have to see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, on to other football news. The Bears finally have a kicker. A walk-off field goal seemed to be the Broncos' demise, but Sydney and I have a couple of other ideas.
Yeah, Ethan, that was a tough loss for the Broncos. Needless to say, there's a lot they need to work on, and last week we went into some of our keys for what they need to do. We have new keys for this week. I'm going to start with my key. They need to do something on third down.
Oh, absolutely.
The Broncos need to convert on third down. They were 3 for 14 versus the Bears this week. That is completely unacceptable. You have Cortland Sutton, you have Emmanuel Sanders, throw to those guys. Or give the ball to Philip Lindsay, let him run up the field. I don't get what's not working for Joe Flacco in this offense.
Well, and they didn't even get Cortland Sutton the ball until the second half. He was targeted once in the first half and didn't get his first catch until the second. And there were a lot of punts in that first half, and I feel like a lot of Broncos fans would agree that you need to give Cortland the ball in third and long situations.
Absolutely. And when you are in that third down position, run with it. You have that time, and especially when it's a 3rd and 1 situation, 3rd and 2, you 100% should be getting that every single time. It's pretty unacceptable to be doing that. So, I mean, the Bears, good defense to them. Props to them for shutting down the Broncos, but tough to see them in that position. Now I know you have another key for this offense.
My key is you have to keep Garrett Bowles from holding. I mean, my goodness, 4 holding calls just on Sunday. That's the most for a single offensive lineman since 2014. But here's the kicker on that. Here's the kicker. 2 of those holding calls, he had 2 more holding calls that were declined. It would have been 6. That's a whole lot of yardage, and that's pretty unacceptable for a guy who's being paid millions of dollars to one, protect his quarterback, and 2, not cause penalties. And he hasn't done that. He has 26 accepted penalties in 34 career games, and that is just way too much. And after the game, I didn't really agree with what Bowles had to say.
It was frustrating. I built a reputation for myself in this league of holding, and I disagree with it, to be honest. There's some calls I disagree with.
I disagree with you, Garrett. You are a professional, and you should know what you're doing is against the rules. I couldn't get any tape on it, but if you watch any of those holding calls, he was either hooked around, and it was blatantly obvious. His hands were on the outside, and if you don't understand what you're doing wrong at this level, you might not belong at this level.
I absolutely agree with you. I love Garrett Bowles as a person and as a human, but that's not okay to be doing that, and to have that many holds in a game is just completely unacceptable. And like we said before, you can't be relying on those penalties. You can't rely on penalties to win you a football game.
No.
But now, Ethan, even with all this going on, there's 3 volleyball games this week.
Oh, yeah.
And we have another volleyball watch list for all of you, so who do we got to look out for?
For myself, number 1, you got to look for Alexa Moliotis. She's really stepped up at the libero position. She was named the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week last week and will be pivotal if the Rams want to keep their momentum going. Right here, you just see her get a sick pancake to keep the play going and score a point for the Rams. And up next here, it's a diving play. She's been a solid member on the defensive side for the Rams, and if they want to keep this momentum going, she's got to be up to par.
No, absolutely. And with the Oregon State game, Meliodas needs to watch out for number 14 for Oregon State, Corey Cheshire. Cheshire has 77 kills on the season with 28 blocks. The middle blocker comes in at 6'1". She's definitely someone you got to look out for.
Oh, yeah. 77 kills. Who's going to stop that? Your libero. And I think she's going to keep an eye out for all of that. And I think Alexa will step up for the team in that game.
No, absolutely. And I'm hoping to see them really step up and kind of see that matchup play out.
I think that'll be fun.
And now I also see Paulina Hogard-Jensen coming in clutch for the Rams in these next few games. The middle blocker had 22 total attacks against CU last week and hit 78% against FAU earlier this season. If she gets her grind going, Hogard-Jensen is a really tough competitor.
However, on the other side of Hogard-Jensen, she has a big matchup this week. Going into the Cal Poly game, Maya Dvorak has been key for the Mustangs. The outside hitter has 130 kills on the season and 333 total attacks. She's coming in hot. And the Mustangs, obviously, they are feeding her. Those are numbers that are almost unprecedented this early in the season for college volleyball. And you have to stop her. Paulina's going to have to get some big blocks up against Maya.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm curious to see how all these teams do. They do have a game against UNC. We didn't bring up any players for that one. But UNC's coming off of a loss, so we'll have to see it. They're either going to come in with a lot of anger against the Rams, or they're going to come in really excited, or like really down on themselves and not able to. But the Rams are coming off of an exciting win against Boulder, double win actually.
Yeah, two of
so we'll
them.
have to see how they play out.
Absolutely.
And now, Rams, it's time for another week of Tell Me I'm Stupid. So, Ethan, what do you got for me this week?
Okay, Sydney, tell me I'm stupid, but this is something that I really believe in. And so tell me I'm stupid, but professional hockey teams do not belong in cities where it doesn't snow. I honestly believe this. This is a hill I'm willing to die on. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, I kind of agree with you here.
Really?
I don't really think you're stupid. But I grew up in Motor City, so, you know, I'm a Red Wings fan, but I agree. I feel like when it's colder there in that atmosphere, it makes hockey 10 times better. And the reason they're so big on hockey, I feel like, because it's always cold.
I know.
And those winters are so harsh.
Like, what kid in Phoenix, Arizona, where the Coyotes are, what kid there grows up playing hockey on a frozen lake? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That just doesn't, it doesn't register to me. Like, if there wasn't a dome around the Coyotes arena, all the ice would melt.
And I think a lot of this, if you grow up in a city like Arizona where it never snows, where does your passion for hockey come from?
That's what I'm
Where do you
saying.
get excited? Who's playing hockey at that level?
Well, it's people, I guess, who have seen snow, and maybe they get tired of it and they go to Arizona. But yeah, it's just something I've never understood. I think it's a disrespect to where hockey came from, and hockey came from places with ice, and that's where hockey belongs.
Well, I see you're very passionate about hockey, but I think sports belong everywhere and everyone should be included.
Okay, so I'm just a little stupid?
Just a little.
Okay. Well, Rams, that's all we have for you this week. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Red Zone. And to stay updated on more sports throughout the week, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at sports_CTV. I'm Ethan Bird.
And I'm Sydney Wicker, but stay tuned because Janae Hancock has the perfect workout for you. You don't want to miss it. Entertainment is coming up next.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
What's going on, Rams, and welcome back. All things entertainment, I'm here to give you the 411 on Tuesday nights. So let's get started. The warm weather will only last for so long, so the Fort Collins Fitness Festival is here just in time. A one-day community celebration of fitness, health, and wellness is set for Saturday, September 21st, downtown Fort Collins. This year, the Fitness Festival will have a celebrity guest appearance by Shaun T, the creator of Insanity, main stage workouts, festival games, festival 5K, Kids Fit Zone, and more. And if fitness really isn't your speed, RamFest is literally the very next day. This Sunday, September 22nd, the annual RamFest event will take place in the Laurie Student Center, Grand Ballroom at 6:30 p.m. Not to mention, J-Rock, the Grammy Award-winning rapper, The first rapper to headline Ramfest will perform. Tickets are $10 for students and $30 for general public. And if you want more information, visit lsc.colostate.edu. This brewery says they're the GOAT. The Gilded Goat Brewing Company is full of CSU alums, Fort Collins natives, and now beer and donuts. I sat down with the communications manager and he gave me the inside look on their first annual beer and donut pairing event. Take a look.
Yeah, it's just kind of beer tasting, donut tasting, mix them both, do whatever you want.
Like a goat, the Gilded Goat Brewery Company believes in making beer that is adventurous, bold, and balanced in its environment.
We're a family-owned business, and we all grew up here in Fort Collins, and so we like that connection to the community. So we want people to come into the tap room, feel comfortable, and have good memories here, right? So they're like, oh, we went to that pairing that one day, we should go there, and they see familiar faces like me or the owner, and that's kind of what we're accomplishing here.
The Fort Collins community gathered for what seems to be a unique event to many. Why beer and donuts, you may ask?
Donuts, I think, is a really popular thing, especially peace-loving little donuts. They have a good message. They have great donuts. They're small, about 3 inches or so, and we just kind of thought that it would be a great pairing for people.
This family-owned business is here to entertain with their now annual beer and donut pairing event.
Hopefully, this is the first of many to come of donuts and beer pairing.
I would have never thought of pairing donuts and beer together, but after seeing the reaction of all the guests, I may have to consider it myself. If you want to try out the GOAT, go to gildedgoatbrewing.com for more information. What's the feed? I'm here to give you all the top stories on social media, so let's get into the T of 2 this week. At number 2, we have Desperate Housewives Felicity Huffman, who has been sentenced to 14 days in prison after her involvement in the college admissions scandal. And according to Fox News, Lori Loughlin is regretting not taking a plea deal. Tweet me with your reaction to Huffman's sentencing. Was it fair or was it not? And at number 1, what's entertainment without talking about the Kardashians? No one is expecting another baby. Well, at least nothing has been reported. But I cannot finish this night without mentioning the cutest video on our social feeds. Kim Kardashian posted a photo of 2 of her children, Saint and Shy West, in their new outfits from Wyoming. Wyoming, the place Kim and Kanye are looking to live, as she said on The Tonight Show. Does this mean the West family won't be on the reality show if they move? I guess we'll have to see. But until then, that is all I have for you all tonight. But don't worry, I will be back next Tuesday with more entertainment. But if you can't get enough of entertainment with CTV, make sure to tune in to the very first Ram Life entertainment show of the semester tomorrow night. It's been Real Rams. Good night.